For today's threading our machine, I want you to lift the cover of your sewing machine, and we're going to begin by finding our spool pin. We're going to start here and work our way down, up and around, and then finally we're going to end up down here. Now today I am going to be using two different colors of thread just so that you can see how it's going to bring it up from here, pulling it up in through the throat plate. And once we get to all of that, you'll understand why I'm doing that. So let's get ready to thread our machine. So let's begin. We're at the top. There's our pin here that we have to put our spool of thread onto. We're going to remove that pin piece, okay? And you're going to take your spool of thread with the thread coming underneath, okay? So if it's like this, you've got to flip it and it's got to be coming from underneath. I'm going to place it onto that spool pin and place the pin there on it just so that it doesn't pull our thread off once we start getting the machine going. Here's our thread. Now we have to go over top of our black thread guide, over top. And there's a little number 1. I know it's hard to see it on the camera, but on your machine, you're gonna see that it actually shows you how to do it. So you're gonna go down number 1, and then once you come down number 1, you're gonna see there's a number 2. Back up, and we have to find our rabbit ears. So you're going to notice here that we don't see it. So there it is. The take-up lever is what holds some of the tension for the thread. So if ever you find that your thread does come out of the take-up lever, which we also call the bunny rabbit ears, you do have to bring it in behind and through the eye. The hand wheel towards me to get it all the way up. There it is, okay, and that's where it should be. And then I'm gonna go to the right of it, around back to the left, and I'm gonna pull it through. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but I've gone through, back, down, around, up, and then around this side. And it does have to go through the eye. So you can see here, it has to go through that little piece. So I'm gonna take that through now. And just gonna pull it through, just like that. So there it is. So I just simply went in behind and through. And now it's gonna go back down, and you don't need that open, so we can close that back up. But we do have to get in behind this little space here. See that little hook? That looks like a little hook. We need to get the thread in behind that. So we're gonna guide and try and get it in behind there, and there we have it. And now we have to get it in through the eye of the needle. So now going through the eye of the needle, you do need to have that end that is nice and flat so it's not frayed. If the thread is frayed, it won't go through. So let's try and get it through how we would normally do it. And your machines have a threader in case you don't get it through. But that did go through. That was quite easy. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, so you do need to be a little bit patient if it doesn't get through that quickly. Okay, so now I'm gonna make sure it's not tangled. And see how sometimes it gets wrapped up inside the foot, the presser foot. So we just got to make sure that it's not wrapped up in there just yet. So here it is, it's not tangled, and it's just going to sit there waiting for us because now we're going to do our bobbin. So to get the bobbin into that bobbin case, we do remove the cover, and we're going to take our bobbin piece, and we have to have it so that thread is coming to the left. So see how it's in the shape of the letter P? You have to remember that the thread has to be on the left in the shape of letter 3 because again, your machine is quite finicky. So you're going to place it into that little space, and we have to wrap our thread, comes around, and there's that little space right there that the thread has to go in between. And then we're just going to swoop it up to the left again. And we just need a little bit of a tail, not a lot. If it's too long, it makes it harder for the needle to pull it up in a minute, which I'm going to show you next. Also, there's a little arrow that shows you to sweep that thread up to the side. And then if by chance you forget, on our bobbin case, there's an illustration and it shows you exactly how to put your bobbin in. So that's a nice little reminder in case you do forget this. Okay, next, we are now gonna rotate our hand wheel so that we can get the needle to go down into the throat plate, and it's actually gonna pick up this thread. So that's what we're gonna do next. It's very important that you hold this thread towards you while you do that, so that it doesn't get sucked into that little throat plate area. So that is what we're doing next. Getting ready, you're gonna hold that thread towards you, and it is held in your left hand because now your right hand, you have to rotate the hand wheel towards you. And this is only gonna go up and down once. So it goes down in, picks this up, comes out, and you're done with rotating your hand wheel. You don't want to go down too many times because it'll just get all the threads mucked up down in there. Okay, so let's get ready to do that. Okay, so I'm holding the thread. I'm reaching over to my hand wheel, rotate. You're going to see that the needle is going down, and watch that bobbin thread. It's gonna pick up the bobbin thread. You're gonna see the pink overlap and come across. See how it's coming across as I rotate. So, and you have to come all the way in the up position. Then I'm gonna gently pull on that thread, and then tucked in there, you're going to see the bottom thread, the bobbin thread, that has to go underneath to the back about 10 centimeters. And then your top thread has to go in between the presser foot to the back. You're going to replace your bobbin case cover, and then you are ready to sew. So you can see that your threads are not tangled, and the top thread is in between the presser foot, but the bottom thread is not in between the presser foot. It just goes to the back. Okay, so I know it's a little difficult to see on there, but they shouldn't be tangled up. So you can see also that when we're looking at the threads, they are not crossing over. See how they are lined up and not crossing over. So there is threading your machine. Okay.